Hello again, everyone. It's me, Matt. Well, interesting and exciting news that I found for you today. We have finally discovered what engine, the real, 100% accurate, factual information of what engine is inside the Russian T-14 Armata. There's been many discussions, many debates, many online theories, research, facts, misinformation, fake news, who knows? It's all just one big kerfuffle. But I have an inside source. Santa himself flew by a T-14 today, and I have an inside scoop with Santa. As he was dropping presents off overnight for Christmas, he was able to see the inside of the power pack for the T-14 Armata. Now, this is crazy news, folks. It's incredible. You know, all I wanted for Christmas is to know truly what is the engine, the power pack inside this behemoth, the T-14 Armata. It's such a highly sought after piece of information, but I have finally, through Santa's wisdom, found out what it is. Guys, get ready for this. The engine that is inside the T-14 Armata is a Scania truck engine. Yes, that's it. That truck that you see flying down the highway or the motorway every day. That truck that delivers your groceries or even delivers your own Christmas presents, unlike Santa. Yes, a Scania truck engine, folks, is what is inside the T-14 Armata. I was surprised myself. You know, bus drivers were surprised. And you know, Santa doesn't lie, folks. Santa is the fact king, okay? If you want to get facts from someone or, you know, researched information, Santa's your man, okay? Because he's not going to lie to you. He's not going to make things up, okay? He's not going to go onto YouTube, find a bunch of channels, go to some articles online and make misinformation. Santa knows what he's talking about, and I've got a good rapport with Santa. I've been on his good list, okay, for quite some time, and he did me a favor. I asked him for Christmas this year, look, Santa, there's been a lot of online beef with some YouTube channels recently. Just tell me, please, so I can settle this once and for all. What is the engine inside of the T-14 Armata? And he told me. He found out it was a Scania truck engine. Now, unfortunately, he could not confirm its horsepower, you know, its power-to-weight ratio. He's not that intricately detailed in the understanding of what engines are in tanks. I mean, he's a busy guy. I mean, if you sent some of his elves, they could probably do a power pack lift, take it out of there, do some deep dive analysis and figure out truly what this engine's capable of. Of course, this is all restricted information. I could be getting in a lot of trouble for this. Releasing this information from Santa. I mean, he himself said, Matt, you gotta be careful with this information, dude. It's Christmas time. I know this is your Christmas gift, but, you know, be careful who you share this with, because this is some classified stuff. I mean, truck engines inside of a tank is unheard of. I mean, it's craziness. It's almost as if, you know, truck engines have very good capabilities inside tanks. But anyway, I digress. But in all honesty, big shout out to Santa. I mean, St. Nick has definitely delivered this year. I appreciate his ability to give us all this shared understanding of, you know, modern main battle tank engineering. It's fascinating to understand that we can put this to bed. I mean, we're done. We understand now which engine is inside of the tank, and we can all have a good 2024, realizing that no one cares. Okay, look, jokes aside, parody aside, I am fascinated by people's complete obsession almost with this tank, and particularly what I've found recently is the obsession about how it's powered and the engine that's inside of it. We've all had many videos out there that discuss about the platform, and also the people who are making these videos, hats off to you. I mean, you make some really good content. I love watching some of your guys' content. There's been some online debate, I would say. I wouldn't call it beef. I mean, we're all adults here, I think, in terms of, you know, what's going on with the T-14 Armata. And, is it good? Is it bad? You know, I absolutely despise that conversation in my channel, whether something's good or bad. I'm sure I've made videos about it before. I'm kind of being very contradictive here, or, I guess somewhat to say, hypocritical. But my point is that some really good channels making some great content and some back and forth debate about the T-14 Armata particularly. And I'm not going to mention the channels. I don't want to get involved in it, but I just find it actually hilarious how intricately people get involved with this tank, and why we are so fascinated by it. I mean, I think there's a lot more to digest in the armored world than this tank. We're not seeing enough of it, we're not learning enough of it, and maybe that's why people want to get more invested into it. Myself, I couldn't care less anymore. You know, I do respect the T-14 Armata as a platform. I think as a tank, as a generational replacement for the older T-72, T-80, T-90 platforms, it's got a lot of capability to it. But the zeroing in on the engine, it's almost like, you know, Pandora's box when you open up the engine discussion. It's like, who knows? Is it this or is it something else? You know, there's a lot of miscommunication, all sorts of different research. There's no true evidence of things nowadays. It's just sort of, hopefully it's the right information that you get. I myself am very bad at researching information. I'm certainly not a subject matter expert. In fact, I would probably be one of the worst YouTube channels in the entire platform to give you accurate information about armor, because I'm just not full-time responsible for learning all this stuff. I do what I can. For me, this is a hobby. I enjoy sharing what I can about things, but I don't get so intricately involved that I spend days upon days of researching something just to make sure that someone doesn't prove me wrong and say, haha, you're wrong. I really don't care. I really don't. This is just for fun. I don't do this for a job. I just love tanks. And I'm sure many of you watch this channel would join me in saying we all just love tanks. We love learning about them. But when it comes to a somewhat, I would say, not unhealthy, but I would say maybe just a little awkward level of obsession about learning about this tank is just, it's almost like a phenomenon for me, seeing channels and people talking about it. It's the number one question I get asked by people, particularly from, of course, Russia and countries that have, worked alongside older tanks like T-72s, T-80s, T-90s, etc. Matt, what do you think of the T-14 Armata? I've made a video about it. I don't really care too much about having to go deeper into it because I don't have the facts. I don't know enough people even to try and digest or gather those facts. Do I want to spend days upon days of research rehashing a discussion about a tank and its engine that several other channels have done? No. And I know a lot of you are probably very upset at me making this video and saying, well, Matt, this is a clickbait and blah, blah, blah. And yeah, this is just for fun. It's just a Christmas parody. I'm just having some fun with it because the message here is that I don't really care what engine's inside the tank. I think it's a formidable platform. Although it gets a lot of hate, it's a step in the right direction. It's doing something new. It's challenging the norms of armor, which most NATO countries are doing too. And it's just kind of an exciting time, I think, in the next 10 to 20 years of seeing what armor will do. We're seeing drones, etc., etc. And I know this has been a bit of a parody or just having some fun, but the reality is that no matter what you put in this thing, it's going to have the power to do what it needs to do. The debate aside, which I, in all honesty, think is great. I love seeing other channels having good discussion about stuff like this because there's a lot to talk about, but eventually it gets to a point with the T-14 that we're all at that dead end and saying, we're not users of it, we're not directly involved with its design or its engineering, so there's only so much we can go on and so much we can learn from and really understand about it. Could a Scania engine be in there? Maybe. and maybe people do have the facts about what is inside there, and I just haven't done the research enough to care or to validate that. But for those who do and have done that research, hats off to you. I do respect channels that really put the detail and the intricacy into their research and getting those facts straight. Myself, we all know I'm just not that guy. Unfortunately, I don't do this as a full-time job. But anyway, just a little parody, some fun for you for Christmas. Hopefully Santa brings you what you need. And I hope to have another video, a few more videos potentially released before the new year. Have a wonderful one, folks, and have a great Christmas. All the best. Bye-bye.